Hello, we just got back from a stay at Port Orleans French Quarter at Disney World, so we're going to show you a room tour as well as some footage from the grounds and then give our review of it and what we thought of it. I'm gonna do a room tour. This is Port Orleans French Quarter River View. I hear the boat coming, and we are in room 7245. It's just River View is the name of the room type, and it does cost a little more than regular view. So there's the view out the window. They have a nice two-seater table with some really nice chairs. The room is really large. This is our first time at Port Orleans and I'm impressed with the room size. It's got 2 queen beds, TV, and the usual now, which has become normal, bug spray, which is so strange. I mean, you can get bit at Disney, but it's very, very unusual. They have a refrigerator. It's a good size. One thing to note if you've never stayed at Disney is none of the non-DVC rooms have microwaves. Somewhere to hang things and a bench. A dual vanity, which is very nice. A pretty large closet type area. And there is a safe, although this is one of the small ones. They have different sizes in the different Disney resorts. And just to give you a, like there's my hand, so even a normal size laptop would not fit in this. A mini would. They do have a curtain to pull across. And then here is the bathroom. And I noticed when I first came in and turned the light, it was extremely dim, but over time the light has brightened, which is kind of interesting. Because I thought, wow, this is so dark I can't really see, but I can tell over time it's gotten brighter. And just a pretty standard tub and shower. Okay, so you just saw definitely a room tour and hopefully some grounds footage as well.
Grounds were amazing.
Yes, the grounds were beautiful. So
I hope it was captured well. She was taking all the pictures, so.
One, I haven't seen the footage yet, so that's why I said hopefully. So to give you an overview, first for us, we've stayed at tons of Disney resorts, almost all the moderates now. I think all of the...
so which moderates have we stayed at? Coronado.
Caribbean Beach.
Yeah.
The only one we haven't stayed at is Port Orleans Riverside, which is sort of the sister resort to French Quarter, but I think of it as a totally separate resort because even though they're next to each other and you can walk to them, the theming is completely different. Yeah. And even the setup is completely different. So I think of that as different. So we haven't stayed there. We've stayed at all the values. We have not stayed at every single type of All-Star, but we have stayed at All-Stars.
That's it?
That's it.
Oh, I'm shocked.
Well, the cabins at Fort Wilderness are in the moderate category price-wise.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
But
yeah.
I think they're deluxe because the price is so high.
We've stayed there several
but we've
times.
stayed at the cabins as well. So we've covered almost all the moderates.
Okay.
And we've actually stayed at a lot of the deluxe. So just to give you, if you're new to us and you don't know where we've stayed or what we've seen, that's where
we're all
our
across
frame
the
of
spectrum.
reference. Yeah. And so the reason we picked Port Orleans French Quarter, I've always wanted to stay there because I think it's beautiful. We've been to the grounds before. I've also heard it has one bus stop unless it's off season and they're sharing with Riverside.
Which we did experience that.
Meaning it was one bus stop.
No, I mean, it shared Disney Springs.
Well, that was just the Disney Springs bus, not for the parks. And so we were going during the busy Christmas week, so we knew the likelihood of the buses being shared to the parks was not high, so that was another reason we picked it. And last but not least, they jacked the rates way, way, way up Christmas week, and you can't get any discounts. And so deluxe was just out of the question for us because it would have been astronomical because we paid almost low deluxe rates for the moderate. That's how much they raised the prices. It was approximately $290 a night Christmas week, which is high. I mean, moderates tend to run more around, especially with a discount, $170 a night or so. Sometimes more, sometimes less. So do you want to start talking about let's start about what we liked first.
The grounds, like I said before, the grounds were
Well,
amazing.
just the overall
it felt
theming.
like you're in New Orleans. New Orleans? How do you say it? New Orleans?
I say New Orleans.
But isn't there a different way to say it? Like the
There's a
locals
lot
say
of
it?
different, the locals say it different, and
New
then
Orleans,
a lot of people that have never been say New Orleans. Like when I was growing up, I always heard people say it that way. So if you're from New Orleans, feel free to leave us a phonetic spelling. But
we had the opportunity to at least go there once.
Yeah.
We stayed at the Garden District, and it was beautiful. And the grounds at the resort
remind me of the Garden District. Yeah, I know they call it French Quarter, but French Quarter isn't that beautiful. It doesn't have that much lush vegetation.
Bourbon Street area?
That's in the French Quarter. So is Café du Monde, all those places.
So when we were in Bourbon Street area, right, in French Quarter, there, not at the resort.
In the real one.
Yeah, it's totally different. I guess because all the restaurants, all the commercialized stores,
just all the bars and. Also, it's a city with tons of people, so it's not as squeaky clean as Disney.
Right.
Because no city is.
The Garden District were all houses and a few hotels here and there.
Stately houses. But they did all have the wrought iron fences and all that type theming that you see at French Quarter, which is beautiful. Beautiful. So what else for you for positives?
Let's see. The boat coming back from Disney Springs.
Yes. The boat's great.
Yeah.
That goes to it.
We made a mistake. We took a bus to Disney Springs this one evening.
We thought it would be faster.
Yeah, which actually stopped at.
It went to every stop at Riverside.
It was like jam packed.
And it got stuck in traffic because it was Christmas week. So we just did that totally wrong. The boat would have been far faster and way more pleasant.
Well,
I think it would off season.
If it didn't stop at Riverside, if it just went from
Right.
Port Orleans, French Quarter, right to Disney
What was
Springs.
crazy is when it left us, it was already full. So it's crazy that it went all the way around. But anyway, the pluses for me are the single bus stop to the parks if it's busy enough. Again, there's no guarantee. I've heard people say it stops at Riverside if it's off season. But for busy times, the fact that you go to parks without stopping at multiple bus stops, because Coronado has multiple bus stops and Caribbean Beach has multiple bus stops. So that's the only moderate that you even have a shot of having one bus stop. That may not sound like a big deal, but after a few days of stopping 4 or 5 times, it gets old.
Oh, the size of the resort. That's a plus.
That was my big plus. It's very compact. We were in literally the furthest building you could possibly get from the main building.
Funny.
And it was still like a 5-minute walk. It was so close. So that was nice.
I wish we can equate that to Pop Century terms, like when you walk in, which generation building.
I don't even know how to say, but I would say our building was closer than any of the outlying buildings at Pop Century by a good bit. It was really close. And
because even to get to the bus, we just walked right through, similar to Pop Century, walked through the parking lot, which was like a 5-minute walk.
Yep.
cons, or did you have more pros?
I'll do a little more pros. If I was not gluten-free, I think the food court would have been great. Like, didn't you like everything you got?
I'm actually putting that in a con.
Oh. And I wasn't happy with it either, so maybe that's a con, sorry. I thought it was just because I was gluten-free. The other pro was the room size. It was big. I don't know if it's big as Coronado, but it was definitely comparable to Coronado.
As soon as we walked in, we were like, wow, this is a lot of space.
Yeah, it looked bigger than some deluxe rooms we stayed in. Like, remember that small weird beach club room we got? We got kind of an extra small one time, but this was far bigger than that. And it had a nice table with 2 really nice cushiony chairs. You know, they have a seat cushion, like comfortable chairs you sit in, plus 2 queen beds. And you get a refrigerator and TV, no microwave, which is standard for Disney. Even deluxe don't get that unless it's DVC. Anything else?
I think
for pros?
So cons, let's go ahead and talk about the quick service. Small.
Well, and they just redesigned it. They literally opened it right before we got there, and they've put these huge refrigeration units right in the center of the food court area, which is already kind of small.
Yeah.
And so during crowded times, you're going, excuse me, trying to get around to where you want to go and pass other people.
But even during this Christmas week we were there, at least in the evening, we only hit it once in the morning. It was crazy in the morning, but in the evening, did we hit it ever in lunch? I don't think so.
No,
because we're doing
always
the express bus service. So in the evening, we just walked right up, got food.
Yeah.
It wasn't
no
lines.
Not for me. It wasn't that.
Yeah, gluten meals
free.
gonna wait. So.
And one time they forgot my order, so it took an extra super long time. So that was sort of my complaint. I have had amazing gluten-free service at Pop Century. I mean, amazing, which is a value. And we had multiple chefs and they were all amazing. So just across the board, I think the Pop Century food court is managed perfectly. Like I've never had a problem there.
Shout out to Laz at Pop Century.
Yes, he was great. So this one, I didn't feel like I got great service from anybody. It was kind of like I was a hassle, which you're rarely made to feel like at Disney. And then one night they just completely forgot my order and I had to go say, excuse me, where's my order? The guy the first night was pretty good and I never had him again. He was there, but he wasn't doing the gluten-free. So if you have a food allergy, I would say it's definitely not a good food court.
So to compare moderate to moderate, so let's compare it to Coronado. Pepper Market, loved it.
Yes.
The quick service over there.
Oh yeah, I would put Pepper Market way over
Lots of choices. See, for me, even though this should be lots of seafood, I think they did lots of seafood. I just got the po' boy a couple times, and after that, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to eat with the food we got through Garden Grocer, the hummus and stuff. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to eat that.
Well, and that was another thing I should mention because this has nothing to do with it being gluten free. One night I ordered pork. It was a meat and 3, which is if you're not familiar with that, that's a southern thing. A lot of cafeterias in the South have this meat and 3 where you get a meat and then 3 sides. I got that the first night, huge mistake, because everything was pre-made and so it wasn't fresh and you could tell. And the pork literally came out of a plastic bag that was in some boiling water and he cut the top off and dumped it on my plate without seasoning it or anything. So if you are going to order, I recommend the made to order stuff like I got burgers that were really good because they were made fresh to order. So go to the places that they make the food after you order, because like his po' boy is made after he ordered it as well. Yeah,
so the Pepper Market was awesome at Coronado. Actually, the pool bar and the other lakeside bar at Coronado and of course Rick's inside were all amazing at Coronado.
Yep.
At the
Coronado's food service beats us.
At the French Quarter, we only went to the pool bar on our checkout, which Carmen had an amazing experience there. I think you liked what you got there. And
it was alright. It's just a standard Disney pina colada. I mean, it's not exciting.
But you said it's like mixed and not like.
That's true. That's true. She actually mixed it from scratch. Like put ice cubes in and all that good stuff. So yeah, it was made from scratch. And also the bartender was fantastic. I will say that.
Another con: pool sizes. So to me, it felt like the pool size at French Quarter is way smaller.
But it's a way small resort.
The slide was tiny compared to Coronado. Another moderate. The slide was huge. Pool was huge. I don't know. It just felt different.
It did feel different, and I never even located the hot tub. I never even saw it.
Saw it. Yeah, it's right next to. It's on the outside.
just didn't
It's another
see it.
gated area on the outside of
Okay.
the pool.
And they did have a big children's play splash area that looked cool. So if you did
That
have
looked
little
cool,
ones,
yeah.
they did have that that looked pretty neat. Let's see what else for cons. For me, the number one con,
The
and
bed.
it's probably the reason I won't go back, was the bed. I don't know if we just had a bad bed, but the bed was just as uncomfortable as Pop Century. And for that big of a price difference, I would expect a higher quality mattress. And not
Yeah.
only that, but okay, it's a queen instead of a full. That's the only up from Pop Century. But mine was literally almost kind of broken on my side.
You
It
can
made
hear
this
springs.
really weird noise when I got up and down. The bed was terrible. Like the first night you're like, okay, not so bad. After 5 nights, I was like, oh, I can't wait to get
Yeah.
home, and get in my bed. So is that it?
I think
For-
that's it. Cover bus service, da da da. Yeah.
But yeah,
Food.
for me, I'd be hard pressed to pick it over Coronado. But just because the bed alone, the Coronado has nice beds. Like I
Yeah.
almost think they're more comfortable than the Deluxe. I think it's because it's a convention hotel. They have really high quality beds. So I would pick French Quarter over Caribbean Beach though. To be fair, we haven't stayed at Caribbean Beach in many years.
That was our first trip, actually.
Which was in 2000. So things may have changed drastically.
They probably have changed.
Yeah, I would assume they've changed. But we had such a not great, it wasn't terrible, it just was lack of excitingness at Caribbean Beach for
Yeah.
us that we never went back again. The theming for us is just not like what we want, I think, is the big thing. So I don't know. For me, I'd rank it out of the moderates we stayed at. I put cabins first if you can really call that a moderate. I think that's a stretch. I think they're deluxe because of the price, but whatever. I put the cabins at Fort Wilderness as number 1. I put Coronado's number 2. I put Port Orleans French Quarter number 3. And I'm guessing I would probably still put Caribbean Beach last.
Probably so.
I think I'd probably stay at Port Orleans Riverside because we did walk over there and look at it. And I know so many people who love it. So I'm guessing it would definitely be above Caribbean Beach for us. So that's how I would rank those.
There you have it.
So hopefully that's helpful. I hope you enjoyed the tour. Bye.